Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. My name is Brian. If you're new here, this is where MAGA comes to talk. And of course, what do we got right there? That is the face, the dress, and the body of the modern Democrat Party, Fetterman. You know, the thing about Fetterman and the way that he's dressing, I mean, he looks like, I don't know, that's appropriate dress if you're working in an auto shop or something, but is it appropriate dress for the United States Senate? And, you know, the thing about the Senate, okay, like George W. Bush is a war criminal, a lowlife never-Trumper who voted for Hillary Clinton. George W. Bush voted for Joe Biden, and he's a terrible person. But when he was president doing all his war crimes and everything, George W. Bush, that is, wouldn't let anyone enter the Oval Office unless they were wearing a jacket and a tie, unless you were a lady, right? No man could come in the Oval Office unless you were wearing a jacket and a tie. And the reason that is it's respect. It's respect for the office, it's respect for the institution and its history in the country. And you walk around looking like this. What kind of respect is he showing for the United States Senate and for the institution and for our country and our government? It's just a lack of respect. I mean, that's just the way it is. And look at him. You know, I mean, look at that. Are you kidding me? You know, and why do you think Schumer changed the dress code? I'll tell you why I think he changed the dress code. You know why he changed the dress code? Because this guy, he would walk in that way anyway. So Schumer is completely out of control in the Senate. He can't control the Senate. He cannot get Fetterman to wear proper clothing. So since he can't get him to wear proper clothing, if he were to enforce the dress code, he would have to have the Capitol Police, Sergeant of Arms, whoever, physically remove Fetterman, and he knew he couldn't do that, and he didn't want that imaging, so he caved to this disrespectful person. I mean, that's what I think happened with Schumer. You guys can let me know. By the way, anytime I'm live streaming, I take live calls. If you're new to my channel, I take live calls from those of you that are watching here on YouTube. I'll put the phone number. I forgot to do it. I'll put the phone number in the chat and pin it there. Let me just put it in. And this number is 888-465-2631. And it's a toll-free call. No matter where you are watching this stream, it's a toll-free call. You can call me live right here on the stream at 1-888-465-2631. There's the number pinned right into the chat, toll-free. So, you know, that's why I think Schumer changed the dress code. You guys can let me know what you all think. And I do have a question that I don't have an answer to. Why does this big fat guy here have such skinny legs? How do you have all this going on and have these little skinny legs? How does that work? Why is that? Sometimes I'll see guys that are gym rats, and they're built, they got muscles, they got pecs, they got abs, and they have skinny legs like this because they don't take the time to, you know, do leg weights. You know, but this guy's not in the gym. So I don't know. I have no idea why he's got the skinny legs. If anybody has any ideas, I'd certainly welcome your thoughts on that. Well, listen, we got a lot to cover, and I want to go through quite a bit here. Let me get back to where I want to be here and where I want to start. Hold on. Let me find where I want to start with. Yes. So, you know, all this talk
frustrating the sense
of we'll get to him in a minute. All this talk of a government shutdown. You know, this is the thing, okay? When the government is shut down, it's not really shut down, okay? Essential services still operate. When they shut down the government, Social Security checks still come, Medicare gets paid, the military gets paid, the entire government gets funded. There's only non-essential things are shut down. The last time we had a really super high-profile government shutdown was when Barack Obama was president. And the government shut down. I don't remember how long it was, but the reason that Democrats oppose the government shutdowns, why do you think that is? Anytime there's a government shutdown, I'll tell you why in a second, but think about it for a second. Why do you think Democrats freak out at government shutdowns? Oh, hey, caller, hang in there. Just let me finish with this. The reason that Democrats freak out at shutdowns of the government is because the government shuts down every Friday night for the weekend. It shuts down over every holiday. The Democrats are afraid if the government shut down for a long period of time, people will realize, you know what? I don't even notice the government shut down. People don't notice. And that's what their biggest fear is. And when they don't notice, they realize, well, we don't need all this government. Government's too big. Hey, caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Oh, hey, Mike.
You know, you're talking about Fetterman. If Schumer doesn't want to do anything, and that's why he changed the rules, somebody else is going to have to do something. And Fetterman has, 6 more years?
He just got elected.
6 more years before he's up? Right. So
no, 5.5 or so.
5.5 or so. So if, let's just say for the sake of argument that the Senate flips in the next election, then whoever the guy is,
then he'll have to dress properly, or he won't be allowed in.
I mean, can he even dress himself? I mean, we know he's had medical problems. We know he's had.
No, he's just an asshole. Okay, and the rules don't apply. He's a typical liberal. The rules don't apply. Yeah. He's a loser. The guy, before he was mayor, he never really had a substantial job. You know, he's like Bernie Sanders. He's never really had a job. He's a bum. And he spent his life that way, and the rules don't apply. He'll do whatever the heck he wants. Hey, Mike, I appreciate the call. Thanks so much for the call. Now, by the way, you're all welcome to call in. So I want to finish up with this. So the Democrats, they panic over these government shutdowns because they know that if the government shut down for a month or two, people will realize they don't need the government. That people won't even notice, really. When the government shut down, you don't even notice. And that's why they oppose it so much. In fact, when there was a government shutdown when Obama was president, and I can't, it's been so long, and I blacked out all those Obama years, who wants to remember that? Socialist president. Although he seems conservative by the standards of what's going on these days, Obama. Kind of, right? But the government was shut down for a while, and people were starting to notice, well, there's no change in my life. So Obama went around and started shutting things down that were still open during the government shutdown so people could see and feel it. And he did a couple of things. He shut down the parks, the national parks. He shut down the road that drives in front of Mount Rushmore in South Dakota so people couldn't look at the spectacle, look at the monument. He shut down the open-air government memorials in D.C., like the World War II memorial. They put up ropes around it, and there were like these 98-year-old World War II veterans taking their honor flights to D.C., and they couldn't get near and all that stuff. That's why they fear the government shutdown. So I think that the Republicans should not only shut the government down, they should keep it shut down until these charges are dropped against President Trump. And when these federal indictments came out against President Trump, I was talking about that then. I was saying they should shut the government down immediately, and they should keep it shut down until the charges are dropped against President Trump. That's Nina barking in the background. Obviously, she agrees with me. There's probably an Amazon delivery or something at the door. So, you know how dogs are. They bark and bark and bark, and the delivery man, he walks away because he's delivered his package, but the dogs think that they chase the person off. So anyway, the Judas of Mar-a-Lago, who I've never trusted, you can't trust a California Republican, you certainly can't trust this stink. This is Kevin McCarthy after he was facing Marjorie Taylor Greene and our great MAGA people standing up in favor of shutting down the government.
Frustrating in the sense that I don't understand why anybody votes against bringing the idea and having the debate. And then you got all the amendments if you don't like the bill. This is a whole new concept of individuals that just want to burn the whole place down. It doesn't work.
Yes, it does.
So,
okay, this guy's going to explain it to us.
Viewers may have a hard time sorting out all the budget and spending issues.
Look at this. This is so typical of CNN. This guy here thinks that you're too stupid to understand what a government shutdown is. So he's going to explain it to us. Let me hear how he explain. I wasn't going to play that part, but let's see. Sure.
So viewers may have a hard time sorting out all the budget and spending issues they have to deal with here
No, we can
on the
figure
Hill.
it out,
The issue
jerk.
that collapsed right now was a year-long bill to fund the Pentagon. Typically, Republicans all vote in lockstep for that bill. Typically, they also vote for the rule. That is the first procedural vote that has to happen. Typically, the majority party votes for it. This time, in what has now been a common practice among these hardliners, they are voting against moving forward on the rule, the process, as leverage to try to extract.
You notice, by the way, there's no white guy here. They've CNN has purged white men from their panels. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Concessions, leaving McCarthy in a bit of a jam.
Okay, yeah, I love this idea of not funding the Pentagon. By the way, funding the Pentagon, that's funding, who's that jockey that just came to America demanding money? Zelensky. Funding the Pentagon is funding Zelensky. Zelensky shouldn't give 10 cents. We should not give that guy 10 cents. I've been watching Zelensky shut it all down, okay? Shut the government down until the charges are dropped against President Trump. Shut the government down until there's a summit meeting and combat operations are stopped in Ukraine and we're pulled out of Ukraine. The man, $20 super sticker. Thank you so much. You're amazing too, the man. That's right. Thank you so much for that $20 super sticker. I appreciate it. Guys, it's hot in here. I'm going to turn the ceiling fan on. Hold on, guys. Be right back. Hold on, I got to walk over here. Yep. Very casual. Hold on, caller. I'm turning on the ceiling fan. Where's the chain? Hold on. There we go. All right. I should have done that before the stream. Hey, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. This is Vladek from Texas. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you, Texas. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Brian?
All right.
Awesome. I just wanted to comment on the skinny legs of
Fetterman.
What's that guy?
Yes, Fetterman.
He just needs to hit the gym more often. Hit those legs. That's all it is.
You think so?
Well, it's genetics as well, but more importantly, I want to comment, and I agree with you that we should not keep funding the Pentagon. I think they are overfunded, and the more we keep funding them, the more it goes towards the war in Ukraine. And
yeah.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No more Ukraine. This whole idea that Russia is our enemy is absurd. Russia is not our enemy. We have no business being involved in a proxy war. We won the House of Representatives, and Kevin McCarthy, well, he's fake MAGA. Kevin McCarthy's a rhino, a Republican in name only. He hates MAGA. He hates Trump. He hates all of us. And, he talks like might as well have Nancy Pelosi as speaker.
I agree. I think you are the first one I heard saying that as far as why do we treat Russia as enemies? Because funny thing is I am half Ukrainian and half Russian. And everybody on the Russian side of my family totally don't agree with this war. As far as we don't want to keep funding the war. And, if Trump was in, we could have negotiated a deal and they would have surrendered and we would not be funding so much of our, taxpayer dollars towards
listen,
the war.
I'm not, as far as the war is a bad thing. People are getting killed. Lives are being destroyed. But they haven't even had one summit meeting with Putin. I mean, this is insane. The only meetings there are is Zelensky demanding money.
Yeah, Zelensky is a joke. I mean, I agree. This is insane. So, I love your show, Brian. I appreciate everything you do.
Well, thank you.
I just wanted to say, I know the one thing I don't agree with you saying is you never will talk negative about Trump. But
Never
at the
gonna
same
happen.
time, I do agree with that because everybody, there's too many people slamming him, and I respect the fact that you're always supporting him. You're positive about it, and keep going, brother.
All right, take care. Appreciate the call. Thanks so much. Yeah, great call there. Yeah. By the way, the number's pinned at the top of the chat. If you're watching live, it's a toll-free call. toll-free number to call in, 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. So Biden, this is so insane. Biden has sent the military to the southern border, and this is just so screwed up, okay? He sends the military to the southern border, not to protect it, but to help the invaders. Right? What the hell? He's down there helping the invaders. What? You send the military down there to defend American sovereignty, protect our borders, and repel invaders. This very well may be the first time the Commander-in-Chief of the United States Military Forces has ordered the military to help an invasion of our own country. I mean, this is insane. Now, let me ask you, I'm serious about this question. Is that an impeachable offense? If you are the Commander-in-Chief and you send the military there to assist illegal invaders invading our country, haven't you lost what you took that oath to do? Defend and protect? It seems to me that in itself should be an impeachable offense. And I pulled up a story that I talked about a couple weeks ago. Actually, maybe about a month ago now. Yeah, this was in August. And I haven't seen much follow-up on this. Cook shortage at Army post shutters some mess halls, leaving hungry soldiers scrambling. Fort Hood, it's got this other name now. I don't know what that is. Fort Caveza, I don't know what that is. But Fort Hood is facing shortages of Army cooks. An Army installation in Texas has been struggling to put food on the table for its soldiers for months as the base, Fort Hood, faces a shortage of cooks to staff its dining facilities. Fort Hood has struggled to provide its junior enlisted troops with meals for months, and I've read nothing about this changing. With the base only opening 2 of its 10 major dining facilities for much of the summer with limited meal times, according to a report. According to the report, the base has faced a shortage of cooks to man for dining facilities around the entire base, with many Army cooks either on deployment or away on field training. Soldiers who depend on the dining facilities to eat have faced confusing and conflicting opening schedules for the facilities as base officials attempt to move personnel around to staff the food service buildings. Some of the dining facilities have only been open during limited hours. I mean, when you join the service, you're guaranteed 3 squares a day. Well, Biden's taken that away. Some of the dining facilities have been open during limited times, forcing some soldiers to drive a long distance across one of the military's largest installations in attempts to get food. And how much time do these guys get for mealtime? Probably not much. It's the Army. For months, one dining facility was open and more than a 30-minute drive away from many soldiers. Okay? This is what I talked about this last month when this story came out, and this is not in this story. And I haven't heard anyone talking about this. And this is speculation on my part. But Fort Hood is in Texas, right? Fort Hood is in Texas. The major border mess is in Texas, right? And I think that the Army has taken the cooks from Fort Hood, not the officers' cooks, the enlisted cooks, the cooks for the enlisted men, and moved them to the southern border so that they could prepare meals for all these illegal border crossers. What do you think? You've got thousands coming across every day. What type of cook can prepare food for a group that large? Army cooks, because they're used to cooking for large numbers of people in the field. That's what they're trained for. So our soldiers are going without regular meals at Fort Hood so that the cooks can go down there and feed the illegals that are jumping across the border each and every day by the thousands. Now, that's a suspicion I have, but this is not a base in Georgia or anything else. This is a major base in Texas, which is close to where, and Texas is where the problem is, so it's close to the there's no doubt in my mind that my suspicions are correct on that. You guys agree with me or disagree on that? And, this is what pisses me off with the media. The media is completely useless. You know, I've been Fox free for, I don't know, how long ago did they get rid of Tucker? April? I've been out of Fox for months now. And you know what? I'm better for it. You know, screw the news. You know, the media, they won't report or investigate any of these stories. Now, this story about the cook shortage is on the Fox News website, and this was back in August. But they don't delve deep into the story to find out what the heck's going on here. And I think that my suspicions are what's going on, and it's disgusting. You know, it's another example of Joe Biden doing what he does, right? Doing what he does, putting others ahead of Americans. And, you know, that's just the way it's going to be as long as we have Democrats running this country. It's always somebody else being put ahead of us. And, you know, they got Fox News reporter. There's a lot of reporters at the southern border. They could get to the bottom of this story. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. This is Sean from Massachusetts.
Hey, Sean. What's up?
Hey. Yeah. Well, first off, this whole this Fetterman theory everyone has, what I think it is, I think it's his ego and all the gobbledygook that he's composed of, just too busy to occupy the bottom half. It's all up top. And I think that when it comes to Fetterman, that's where I stand on him. Because we know what this guy's all about. He has no respect for himself. What makes you think he's going to have any respect for any office or any facilities or institutions? And, hopefully he'll be gone pretty soon.
He's got 5.5 years left of his term.
Yeah, maybe hopefully sooner get out of there. You know, and this whole shutdown, I agree with what you were saying too. And, you know, it's a distraction. What they're doing is with this government is, they don't want us to realize how much we don't need it.
That's right.
And that's why they're afraid, you know, and they're going to do everything, you know, they like to that's how they play because they want the Americans to be so, you know, dependent on them. And this is just too much for them to handle. And, you know, as far as this border situation goes, you know, I was just I didn't check the video about Steve Turtle, Dr. Steve. He put out a video about Texas National Guard coming
That's
through
right.
there to do something. And I hope that does something. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah, and you know, the Texas National Guard were deployed by the governor, and Greg Abbott said that the razor wire he believes was cut by the U.S. Army. That Biden had the Army cut the razor wire at the border to make it easier for these illegals to come here.
Abbott has to have some kind of pull here. I mean, it's a state, and I know they can just. It's just Abbott's just too strong-willed, and I think in this situation, you got to give him credit where it is. I just hope that he's doing something here, and
he's
doing
with
all these military men coming in.
What do you think that's about?
Well, I was gonna ask you that after. I'll tell you what I think. Obviously it's for the votes. They want them to get jobs. They want them to be legitimized. They want them to get licenses. They want them to work to get in the system so they can get the votes because this cheating mechanism isn't going to work this time.
No, I don't think it's that at all. I don't think it's that at all. I think Obama's running the show, and the Democrats believe what is stopping them from total domination are white people, the white middle class, white working people, and they want to make this country. They think if they can make this country a majority-minority country, and lessen the influence of white people in government and politics, that they'll be able to have total domination. That's what this is. I mean, that's.
Well, it's control. I mean, it's using them. I mean, who knows? They could use them for riots and chaos too. I mean,
it's insane. It's an illegal action. I mean, what Biden is doing here is criminal.
Yeah. Well, it's a worldwide operation. I mean, you just seen Italy taking in. They want to blend all these places up and just destroy them and lose identity everywhere. I mean, the one world government situation.
Look what they're doing. I mean, they've spent the last few years since Obama was president, and they're still going strong. They're trying to do this in New York right now. They've taken down the statues of George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, other great Americans. They're wiping out our history. They're bringing an entire new peasant class of people that don't even speak the language, don't know our history. They're wiping out our country. They're erasing
that's what they want.
our nation and our culture.
Well, they want to. Well, they want to replace, they replace the American population and create their own history. And that's why they want to take it down and create the world in the way they want it to be made.
That's
and
right.
That's what I think. That's one. And they've thrown all these people in. And I got to give credit for places like Staten Island in New York, which is mainly a lot conservative. And the Guardian Angels there. I can't think of his name right off my head, but he's leading a great charge.
Curtis Lewa.
Curtis, yeah, you got it. And he's been unbelievable. I've been watching him, and I have to say, some of these areas have been standing up, and it's good to let them see. These are now in the New York, city and stuff. Now we got mainly leftist areas. They're standing up, and you got AOCs getting drowned out by voices, and the people are showing their displeasure and with this whole thing. And I think that's great that there is some pushback going on, and I think that it's going to continue on because the American people will not stand for this, and I think it's starting to show. I think what Donald Trump is really seeing is that. Like, I think I remember we talked before when we were saying about how the consecutive terms is sometimes it's not, maybe this is good that he has a break in between because now people are going to start seeing the difference between what he was doing and what's going on now.
It's going to be better having the 2 non-consecutive terms. Hey, listen, thanks for calling, man. I appreciate it. Great call.
All right, thanks, Brian.
All right, take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie. How are you?
Oh, hey, Richie. All right, Richie the bus driver. What's up?
Yeah, glad to have you on in the afternoon. I still think this whole thing is just to destroy this country totally.
Yeah.
And it is to replace the white population, but it's break us down, create chaos. I was listening today that Poland was occupied for a long time, okay? But Poland kept their identity, kept their language, kept their religion, kept their culture.
Even during the Soviet occupation is what you're talking about, yeah.
Right. We're losing it here altogether. I mean, and there are people that, we actually love this country and we think one way. There are people, I saw this thing on YouTube with Sunday on CBS. There are people that believe that these people are the same as the immigrants that came in here actually in the early 1900s. They don't consider this illegal whatsoever.
Well, listen, during that period, in the early 1900s, first off, they had very strict quotas on immigration then, okay? I know people don't learn about that, but it's true. They did it by nations, like only so many people from Ireland, so many people from Italy, so many people from China, but they had that. And the other thing, I was talking to a caller about this morning, there was no social welfare like we have now. So when you came here in the early 1900s, you had to work to eat. If you didn't, there was no Section 8 housing, no food stamp, EBT cards. Now, they didn't even really have a public school system, really. So which is free daycare. They didn't have any of that. You come here now, they're not coming here to work. They're coming here for the free ride. They come here to retire off the system.
Exactly. You've worked your whole life. And at the end of the day, you have to pay your federal income tax.
Yeah, it's true.
And you're giving this government your money, your work. You're giving this government a free check to give it out to the world. They don't give a damn about where your money goes. You have no say whatsoever. It's so insane. If that's like handing me your checkbook and say, Richie, spend what you want.
That's right.
That's what we're doing with this country. It's to the point. Listen, it's to the point now where I don't see a reverse. I see President Trump getting in there. I told you this morning. I see them putting all sorts of barriers in front of him. I see the courts getting involved, stopping him at every move because of these crazy people. I mean, you got a Supreme Court justice out there that doesn't know what a woman is. This is what we got. This whole country is so upside down.
I mean, look what's going on. How much money did they give to Zelensky today? What was the final number? Do we have the final number?
I didn't even know they did because I've been watching the Kerry Lake trial. They gave him money again?
Yeah,
They gave him money. Oh my God. There's no.
You know what I'd like to know? I would like to know if it's true that he has mansions in other countries. If that's true. I hear that all the time. I hear about it in Spain and Miami. Yeah, I'd like to know for a fact if that's true or not.
I don't know why.
Where's his wife at?
The condition. I don't know, Brian, but I can tell you this much: you just have to go to the supermarket. You just have to gas your car up. You know, it's
when we were helping
thing.
England, when we were helping England during World War II, Churchill didn't seem so entitled, right? And he wasn't living like this guy's living. He wasn't running around with arrogant entitlement. This guy Zelensky he's so entitled. I saw him walking around the UN. $1 billion. Yeah, $1 billion we're giving him. Another $1 billion.
Oh my goodness! And you know, you got a president in the White House that's as corrupt as hell. How much money has he gotten out of Ukraine? You know, it's so obvious. This is, and we. You know what frustrates me, and it frustrates a lot of people. We can't do a damn thing to stop it. I mean, the Republicans are so darn weak. They're ready to turn over and give.
Well, Kevin McCarthy's pissed off that we won't. Kevin McCarthy's pissed off we won't fund the Pentagon. You know, the Pentagon's what's funding this Ukraine war.
It's Brian. How can you know? It's great for talk radio because there's so much to talk about.
Yeah,
but this country is really in a tank, and it's one thing after another. You remember, like, I think it was Zelensky, not Zelensky, the one that wrote that book on just create constant problems, one after the other. All the problems in this country are created by Biden. You know, yeah. Biden came in. People got to remember, with the border, they were coming over the border with Biden T-shirts on.
Biden-Harris T-shirts.
Biden invited us.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is what they came into this country
Well, you know,
with.
there's another thing, too. People don't realize when they come here, there's a lot of money to be made, right? You know, there's this story it's been on Fox and other places about this huge housing development in Texas where thousands of illegals are living. They move them around the country. So whoever owns that property gets paid. Who's ever feeding them gets paid. You know, there's a lot of money to be made off of the illegals being here, and the money is always made, I promise you, by donors to the Democrat Party.
Yeah, I'm sure if you opened up one of your bedrooms to one of them, your government would give you a check. They're begging people. You know, in New York, in Staten Island, they took a senior citizen assisted living. I heard this. Sweeber, or the guy guarding the angel.
Yeah,
they took a 90-something-year-old lady. Her husband was a World War II veteran.
Yeah.
Okay, took her and displaced her out of her own place.
Wow.
And that's why they're going nuts there. They threw all of
and
them
look at this.
out.
I was in. That's disgusting. I was in shock to find out that the Ukrainian soldiers that are wounded are in a hospital in Staten Island. What's that about? We have military hospitals in Germany. Why aren't they there? And you mentioned Poland. Poland's the first country to say screw Zelensky, no more. They're cutting Ukraine off. Poland's giving no more aid to Ukraine.
Yeah.
And they hate Russia.
The last thing I'm going to say to you, because but a lot of people that are listening to your show don't realize. My wife is from Venezuela. She had a brother, and he wanted to come here for the longest time, but he couldn't because it would have been illegal. Now he's living in Spain. Okay, his kids wanted to come here. They obeyed the law. They knew they couldn't legally. So
I'll tell you another thing too. All these so-called Venezuelans that Biden gave amnesty to, they're not all Venezuelan. They're Spanish speaker. If you say they're undocumented. How do you prove they're Venezuelan? If you're Venezuelan, you get asylum because it's a communist dictatorship down there. So you get immediate asylum in America. So they all say they're either from Cuba or Venezuela. That's BS.
Well, my wife is from Caracas, and there happens to be a section of Caracas called the Barrio, which is the slums of Caracas, where they're living in the worst conditions you ever wanted to see in your life. The crime at night there is so bad you can't go near that place.
Yeah.
It's one robbery after another. It's kidnappings, murders. There's more people in gunshot wounds over there. They're all armed, but the regular people aren't.
Yeah,
because they're the protection arm of the Venezuelan government.
That's right. All right, Richie. It's good. It's good to talk to you. I'll talk to you in the morning, probably.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. Take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello, you're on the air.
Hello. Oh,
Yeah.
Hey, Brian. Good evening.
Hey.
James from Boca.
Hey, James.
Let's not forget about that. Evening. Let's not forget about the Afghans they brought in right after Afghanistan.
That's
they threw
right.
38 or 58,000 of them in with no documentation or anything. I mean, it's just happening
and let me tell you what
everywhere,
happened.
all around the world.
Listen, look what happened. They did the same thing in Somalia. They brought all the Somalians here. Now they've taken over that whole area of Minnesota, and we've got that girl from the squad, who's going to be there forever. You know what I mean? They're changing they're wiping out our culture, is what they're doing. The American culture, they're wiping it out.
We're a melting pot in the beginning, but now it's just being transferred. Our country is just being transferred to a welfare state. There's no
That's
more.
right.
Nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to earn a dime. They just want the government to pay for it.
And by the way, this is very true even with American young people. They don't want to work these days. The millennials and Generation
That's what
Z.
I meant that truly from both, but not
they don't
just
want to
people
work.
coming here, but our own children don't want to work.
That's right. That's
you
right.
know.
Well,
and it seems like they have no common sense.
Well,
I don't know.
What's going on in this country right now? I thought that the '60s were a terrible time. This is worse. It really is.
Oh, the '60s is like a flash pan compared to this. I mean,
the only reason that there was a Vietnam protest movement is because of the draft. Those were really draft protests, not an anti-war movement. And we don't have a draft now, but where's the anti-war movement with Ukraine? Where is
it? The problem is our politicians are all getting paid off. Their supporters, themselves. Like, who's that? He was on the YouTube the other day. He said, the best way to make our government work is once we get below 3% GDP, no politician in office will be allowed to get back in office.
Yeah, well, that's not going to happen because the government officials, the elected officials have to change the law. They're not going to do that.
Oh, yeah, we can't even get term limits,
No, that'll never happen. No, they'll never have term limits.
Oh, yeah, never.
All right, it's good to talk to you, man.
God bless
Take care.
Everybody, have a good night.
All right, thanks so much. Again, you're all welcome to call in. The number is toll-free. If you're watching live, the number is pinned at the top of the chat, 888-465-2631. Oh, we got a new member there, by the way. What is that? Janine Myers, welcome. And there's a lot of exclusive member content. When you're a member, you get your name in a different color, so you stand out in the chat. And there's a whole bunch of member-exclusive emojis. My wife made all those emojis. Yeah, Ilhan Omar, that's right. Keith Ellis, that's exactly right. So take advantage of that. And there's also a whole bunch of members-only exclusive content that we put up there all the time. So take a look at that. Now, if you'd like to support the program, of course, the Thomas Edison of sleep, the great Mike Lindell, has been partnered up with us here for many, many years, supporting all of our content. And if you go to mypillow.com and use my promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, you are supporting, of course, all the content that I bring to you, my YouTube channel, my podcast with my wife, the radio show in the morning and everything. So, and there's some great specials going on, and we're moving in the Christmas shopping season. I'll go over just a couple. The 20th anniversary My Pillow. My wife and I, we have these just $19.98, regularly $69.98 with our promo code KANE. Hey, caller, hang in there. I'm doing a commercial for My Pillow. I'll be right back. This has the Giza cotton is what the cover is made out of on the 20th anniversary limited edition pillow. You'll love it. Just $19.98 with my promo code KANE. The 6-piece My Pillow towel set. I have the blue ones and the white ones. Both of those sets just $39.99. The My Pillow slippers are $90 off. You can take advantage of all these specials with my promo code KANE. And when you do, you're supporting my content. And, of course, the My Pillow 2.0 with temperature regulating technology. Buy one, get one free. So there's great deals there. Take advantage of them all and support my content by doing that. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Dave in Virginia.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah, what do you think about Lynn Wood turning on Donald Trump?
I never. Okay, I'll tell you. I don't think Lynn Wood was ever with Donald Trump. I remember when he was running around with Sidney Powell representing President Trump. He was going to have an event, and it turned into a rally.
Yeah.
And I talked about this at the time. I can't remember where it was. Linwood was dressed like Trump. He had a MAGA hat on and everything. And he turned it into a Trump rally, but Linwood was pretending to be Trump. Linwood has never been with Trump or been with us. He's an opportunist.
Well, they said he was a Democrat before, so you can't really trust him at all.
No, Linwood's never been with us. I talked about it at the time, and that's the way it is. Yeah. Yeah, but these,
Okay, well, it's good talking to you.
All right, well, it's good to hear from you. Thanks so much. Leaving Fox News is a very, very wise thing, and here's another reason why. Look at this. Mike Pence. Why the hell do they have Mike Pence on? It's here. Harris Faulkner confronts Pence after he accuses Trump of backing away from the U.S. role as a global leader.
Former President Donald Trump, and you brought him up, so my team has just slid this in, was in Iowa yesterday with this on U.S. aid to Ukraine.
It's just not sustainable. With your help, your love, and your vote, we will make America first. It's about America first. I mean, these people want China first. They want other countries first, Ukraine first. They want all this stuff we give. Every time somebody comes over from Ukraine, they walk out with $25 billion.
Yeah.
And we want to help Ukraine, but, Europe right now is up to $25 billion, and we're up to $200 billion.
Now, you have differences from the former president when it comes to Ukraine policy. First of all, why and what are they?
Well, look, during the Trump-Pence administration, we stood with our allies and we stood up to our enemies. We were willing to use American hard power. Our armed forces took down the ISIS.
Whatever, I'm not going to let him. But anyway, he says that Trump has pulled out of the role of a U.S. global leader. And Pence, I'm not going to listen to Pence. Screw Pence. We'll just talk about him here. Can you guys stand listening to Pence? But hold on there, caller. But before I tell you about this, I want to just show you something. Let me mute it so we don't have to hear his voice.
Hello?
Yeah, hold on a second, caller. I'll be right with you. Look at Pence's face here. That looks like a bruise, and it looks like he's got a bump on the right side of his face here. It looks like somebody has punched Mike Pence. I don't know if you guys can see that on your screen, but it's discolored even with the makeup, and it's swollen like he's been punched. That's why I pulled up that clip for you guys. Do you see that? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is D from Jacksonville.
Hey, Jacksonville. What's up?
No, I was wondering what you were thinking about the whole Russell Brand ordeal and being an independent voice as yourself. You feel threatened with all that going on?
No.
I feel like, don't you feel like it's a setup for, they're just trying to bring more and more people in?
Well, here I talked earlier in the week about Russell Brand, and I'll tell you this, okay? I question the timing, because the timing, they're going after a lot of people, right? Lauren Boebert, the Trump 19 in Fulton County. They're going after a lot of people. But the stuff that he's saying, there's a high likelihood that the stuff's true. He was a drunk and drug addict at the time by his own admission. He probably doesn't even remember a lot of those things that went on. There's a high likelihood that at least some of it's true. I don't think we should be out there defending the Russell Brand against these accusations. However, I question the timing, because these are things that they've known about Russell Brand for many years. And after the Tucker Carlson interview, okay, Russell Brand's been pretty big as a voice for a while. I didn't follow him. I didn't pay much attention to it. But after he interviewed Tucker Carlson a few weeks ago, he became much more relevant in the United States. And then all of a sudden this comes out. So the timing's suspicious, but I'm not going to defend him against these accusations, because they some of them seem credible. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I wouldn't defend him. I would say it just like the timing is suspicious. And he's just always, I guess definitely in the past couple of years, been a pretty big proponent against the deep state. So that was my thoughts on it. It looks like another, strategic attack.
Well, no, he in the United Kingdom, he is super, super famous, okay? And his sexcapades have been very openly known. And I was reading a story over the weekend that he was going to be doing some type of television production in England, and because of his reputation, they had a complete male staff that were going to be working on the show, no women, because he's worse than Biden around women. So that's how bad he's been in the past. Now maybe he's completely reformed, but I don't know.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to look more into it, but it just seems, like another character assassination.
Well, it's only character assassination if it's not true. Like Tim Ballard, who's the guy that they made the movie Sound of Freedom about. Right. What's going on with Tim Ballard, now that's character assassination. The accusations they're making against Tim Ballard are not true. Not true at all. I don't believe any of that crap. And I saw his denials, and his denial was quite credible, Tim Ballard. Russell Brand, on the other hand, I don't know. What do you think he did any of these things?
I don't know. I don't know if he did. I just think it's weird, 7 years down the road that it's finally coming out.
Well, look, they went after Bill Cosby like 50 years later.
Yeah, but it just seems like off timing because we're past the Me Too movement at the moment, somewhat, I guess, but.
Yeah. Hey, listen, man, I appreciate the call. Thanks so much. Yeah. No, I just don't think it's. I think too many people are defending Russell Brand's actions. The timing, fine, because I've been talking about that all week. But the accusations, I don't know. So I wanted, before I move on though, I wanted to go back to this. Do you guys see this? A bruise on Mike Pence's face, and you look here on one side of his cheek, and it's swollen over here. Who do you think hit him? Somebody hit Mike Pence. I don't know who. His wife? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. It's Eddie from Virginia.
Hey, Eddie. What's up?
Yeah, I'm good. I just wanted to say thank you for not playing that Pence
No, I couldn't. I just couldn't. I was gonna play and talk about it, but I can't listen to that guy. Screw him. I can't listen to him.
Oh, it's good.
But did you see the bruise and the bump on his face that I showed?
No, I didn't notice that.
Oh, you have to go back. You rewind after your call. Okay. Rewind the stream. You'll see.
All right. I mean, I couldn't care less about that guy anyway. He's such a blowhard.
Yeah.
Anyhow. And then this stuff about Russell Brand, I don't particularly like the guy. I mean, he talks a lot of sense and all that, but I can't stand his voice either, so I don't know how he became such a star. But anyway, I don't care about anything that he did 7 years ago.
Well, the thing about Brand, though, I know who he is, but I never paid attention to him. I mean, I knew he used to be married to Katy Perry. I never watched his show. I don't even think I've seen one of his movies. However, I watched him interview Tucker Carlson, and I was pretty impressed. He's smart. Mm-hmm. Smart guy. He's a pretty intelligent guy.
Yeah, he's pretty smart. I mean, he came out against all these leftists on their shows, and he blacked them.
He's very good. He's very. He sounds like a very educated man. I don't know if he is, but he's. If somebody hold on a second here though, if he raped someone 7 years ago, I would hope you would care about that.
Well, look, let me put it this way. Okay, look, of course I wouldn't approve of anybody raping anybody. That's disgusting. But the problem I have with this is always these allegations come 15, 20, 10, 7 years later when the person is about to become really famous about something. Mm-hmm. Why is it always that way? If the rape is such an important thing to who was raped, why do they wait?
Oh, no, I agree with you.
They wait until the person is, trying to be governor, trying to be
president. I agree with you because, how do you defend yourself years later against allegations like that? When it comes to sex, there's usually not a lot of witnesses to back up a story. You know what I mean? It's usually in private.
And I understand, for many women, they don't want to come out right away because it's not the, you don't want to be telling people,
and at the time he was at the peak of his fame. which means he had a lot of big money people behind him running interference. I don't know.
Maybe people wouldn't have believed her. Maybe people wouldn't have believed her.
Let me tell you, I tend to think that at least some of those allegations are true, in my opinion. I mean,
I agree with you.
You know, just because somebody says some conservative things, whether it's Russell Brand or Andrew Tate, we shouldn't get behind. Well, they say some things we like, so we're going to defend them against these things. I don't know why there is such a there's three people I don't understand why there's so much support behind. Russell Brand, Andrew Tate, and Dave Portnoy. Who the freak cares about Dave Portnoy? I know he's a successful billionaire. I mean, everybody just makes such a big deal about Dave Portnoy. I mean, like, he got on the phone and barked at this Washington Post reporter. I saw it on YouTube yesterday. I don't understand why conservatives are all defending these guys. And who cares what about... I just don't care about Dave Portnoy. I don't find him interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't even know what Barstool Sports do.
Yeah, I agree with you. Those three people are people that I don't particularly like or listen to either, even though they do speak the truth. Like
Andrew Tate is a very smart guy, and I agree with a lot of things that I hear Andrew Tate say. But when I saw Tucker go over to Bulgaria, wherever the hell he's at, and interview him for a couple of hours, I'm not interested. Same things with Portnoy. I'm like, who cares about Portnoy?
Well, the Portnoy guy, the Barstool thing was because he said some stuff on CNN, a few years ago about boobs and stuff. That was what made him so famous. And then everybody basically eats out of his
but
hand
here's
now,
the thing. Like Andrew Tate is right. They have feminized men. They've turned men into women. And I agree with all that stuff he says. I do, and he's probably innocent of all these things. But I'm not going to put someone up on a pedestal because they say some conservative things I agree with, unless their name is Donald Trump.
100% agree. Yeah, I 100% agree with you on that. And I agree when the stuff started on Tate, I didn't give a for or against. I didn't go for or against. I was like, I'm going to wait to see, because he has a weird character. So I wouldn't be surprised if he did do something stupid several years ago. And I wouldn't defend somebody for doing something like that. I only have a problem, like we've always said, it's always coming out when this person is trying to be famous for something, and then, especially when it's politics, then you come at them. If it was that important, you would have come at them, a long time ago.
Right.
I just wanted to share that with you.
All right, I appreciate it.
There's a couple of other things real quick. I wanted to just put it on the record. One, I don't think you're defending Biden when you say what you said this morning. When you said you don't think he's evil, he doesn't know he's evil. I don't agree with that. I mean, I think he's evil and he knows he's evil. I mean,
no. Joe Biden is an evil man, but I don't think he thinks he's evil. I think he's criminally insane.
Yeah?
I think Joe Biden is criminally insane. He is very evil, Joe Biden. But a sociopath does not necessarily know they're a bad person. Okay, I give you an example. Ted Bundy, very well-known serial killer, and Ted Bundy said he blamed the girls for him killing them. He said they got in my car.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So these sociopaths don't see themselves as guilty. Joe Biden is evil, scummy, and it's an embarrassment that he's the most corrupt man ever to be president. But he thinks he's a great father and husband and breadwinner for his family. He is criminally insane.
I got to give it to you. You have a way of breaking things down. I actually agree with you now that you say it that way. This morning I was like, what are you talking about? But right now I'm thinking, okay, yeah, you got a point. He does not know what he's doing half the time anyway. So, and that's one. So the second thing is about Romney. You talked about Romney a while ago, maybe a few days ago or something. I don't think he's ever going to run for president. I don't think he's going to throw his hat in the ring at any point in time.
He's up to something.
He might back somebody like a Vivek, but I don't think he's going to run.
He's up to something. Hey, listen, I appreciate the call. It's good to hear from you. Thanks for calling, man.
Thank you, man. Yeah,
all right,
you
take
too.
care.
You too. Thank you.
Great calls on the stream, by the way. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello, you're on the air.
Yes, hi, how are you?
Good. What's your name?
First name, my name is Alfred. I'm a...
Turn down the volume of the device you're listening to me on.
Oh.
Okay, because there's a delay. There you go. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, hi. My name is Alfred. I'm a immigrant in this country for 15 years.
Oh, from where?
I have a quick question for you, Brian.
Where are you from originally?
From Balkan, from Albania.
Okay.
Yes, I have a quick question for you. What happened if Joe Biden's scum president get impeached before he finished 4 years, right? Let's say he got impeached. Yeah. So why he can pardon his son? If you impeach, you are thrown out, right?
No. The way it works is, the impeachment is like an indictment. So the House of Representatives impeaches you. That means in like a court system, that means you've been indicted for a crime. After the impeachment, the president's put on trial, and the trial happens in the Senate, and the senators are the jury. And they have a prosecutor and a defense team of lawyers, just like in a courtroom in the Senate. The Chief Justice of the Supreme Court comes into the Senate, and he's the presiding judge. And then the Senate votes guilty or not guilty, and they have to get 3/4 of the senators to vote guilty to remove a president. And it's never happened. There's been several impeachments of 3 presidents: Andrew Johnson, who was president after Lincoln, and Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. And they've never been, because things are so partisan. So an impeachment does not mean removal from office. It just means there's a trial.
What was the president which he didn't finish? When was that? Nixon or somebody?
Nixon wasn't impeached. Right? Nixon wasn't impeached. No. He was a coward. He resigned. He was not impeached.
Joe Biden too.
Joe Biden's a criminal, though. Joe Biden is a criminal. He's not going to resign. He's making too much money. The whole reason that Joe Biden is president is to make money, okay? And if he resigns, the money stops. He's not going to resign.
Yes, you know what this scumbag he do to my country? I explained to you in short. He took all the Iranian people, which was the 4,000 Iranians right now back in my country. That's why I hate this bastard. 4,000 ex-family leaders in Iran before this guy come now. The guy is in Iran.
In the 90s, who was Albania fighting? I can't remember who. Who was Albania at war with? Serbia. Yes. Yeah, and Joe Biden was on the side of Serbia against the Albanians.
Sure. So he did another present for us, right? So he took 4,000 Iranians, which they left after this guy is in power in Iran. So the family is in our country, 4,000 Iranians.
Oh my goodness!
He put it in Albania, and he built next to the beach. It was a Russian military, and he took it over. And he put this 4,000 Iranians, Soros paid my prime minister, and he's there. So
who's the he you're talking about? Putin or Biden?
No,
who are you talking
Biden, he put him in there.
Biden put the Iranians in Albania?
Yes.
Wow, I've never heard that before.
Yes, 4,000 Iranians, and he make a resident for them, right? His guard and all that. So this family is in Albania. It's opposite of the leader of Iran right now.
Wow.
Right? So now Iranians, they're looking for the Iranian now, this government in Iran now, they're looking for these people, right? And they say, give me your refugees back. So our prime minister said, no, screw you.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So the U.S. embassy in my country said, we're not giving you 4,000 Iranians. Mm-hmm. So, okay, he said, cute, you can keep it. So what happened after 1 month? He launched the biggest, which we call it, technology. They attack all the hackers, attack all the banking system and everything. So 2 weeks, no government computer work in my country. Shut down completely.
Oh my goodness!
Until they sent somebody from U.S. to fix it. So this is Mr. Joe Biden, president from my country. See?
Yeah.
But still, I remain with this question: why he could pardon his son if he got thrown out before?
Because a president, well, he's not going to be thrown out. And even if he is thrown
Well,
out,
let's say so.
even if he were going to be
Let's say it's
thrown
already
out,
happened.
there'd be a whole process that he would know, and a president can pardon up until the very last second they're president.
It's so not fair. It's not fair, not fair. I think this country should put one president in jail so everybody learns.
Yeah, and his name should be Joe Biden. Well, it's good to hear from you. I don't think we've talked before, so welcome to the program.
Thank you for taking my call.
All right, well, thank you for calling. Yeah, great calls on the stream tonight, guys. And by the way, you're all welcome to call in. The number's toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. And, of course, you have to be watching live to call in. And the number is pinned at the top of the chat, 888-465-2631. So here we got Hakeem Jeffries, warmonger. He's talking about Ukraine.
We had an opportunity to express our appreciation for the resilience, the strength, the heart, the soul that the Ukrainian people have exhibited, and of course their courage and their bravery on the battlefield and amongst the civilian population. This is a struggle between Ukraine and Russia.
What is he, like a sign language guy? This guy, he's got his hands all over the place, Hakeem Jeffries.
But it's also a struggle on the global stage between democracy and autocracy, between freedom and tyranny, between truth and propaganda, between good and evil. And it's important for us to stand behind Ukraine until victory is won.
Okay, so by the way, what is that victory? What is this guy with the hands? My goodness. What does this mean? The defeat of Russia? And how do you define the defeat of Russia? Right? You know, they haven't even defined victory. So how can you say we're going to be with them is what he means, as long as the money is coming in. Hakeem Jeffries, that's the best the Democrats have to make their leader. Now, I got a question for you ladies here. I don't understand this eye makeup that Jean-Pierre does. Okay, I was watching some clips of her today from the press briefing, and it's incredibly distracting. She has this light makeup on the inside of her eyebrows here, and then when she's looking down, it's like a weird color. Let me mute this, and then.
What do you call it?
I want to talk about this exchange, but I want to look at her eyes first. Watch. It's like she's got eyes that glow. Does that annoy you? Look at that. See, isn't that weird? It is so distracting to me when she's talking. I can't stop looking at that light makeup on her eyes. I just think it's so. I mean, it's really. Is that a trend among ladies? I don't know. You guys, you ladies out there, you let me know, because I don't understand. But anyway, this is her talking the doozy. Let's it's very distracting.
What do you call it here at the White House when 10,000 people illegally cross the border in a single day?
So what do you call it, Peter, when GOP puts forth a wait, no, you can't.
Sorry?
I'm answering. Okay, we're gonna move.
You're answering a question with a question? Okay.
No. We're moving on.
Great,
moving.
please.
In the back.
You said you were stopping the flow at the border.
No.
10,000
I tried to answer, Peter.
Okay.
I tried to answer the question. You stopped me. Let's go.
Oh boy, that's her out because she had no answer, right? She had no answer, so she used that as an excuse. But that eyeshadow or whatever that is just so annoying. Now this here is really disgusting. And I'll play this. These poor Marines have to sit here and honor Zelensky. This is just, ugh.
Now, as we anticipate this moment, again, a reminder, this will be the second time that the two have met since the war began here at the White House, the sixth time they have met in person over the course of this war now, and it's 19 and a half months it's been going on. And let's just watch.
Oh, yes, let's just watch. Here he is, demanding money. Ah, yes. Now, the reason I bring this up, by the way, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk. My name is Brian Craig, and I live stream every day of the week. And you'll love my stream, I promise you. Especially if you're a Trump person, you'll really love my stream. If you're not a Trump lover, you will be. All right? And this, of course, is where MAGA comes to talk. I always take live calls when I'm live streaming, too. Okay, so Zelensky, a lot being made of Fetterman dressing inappropriately. What are your thoughts on his dress? This Fidel Castro look. You know, I've talked about this a lot. There was, let me see if I can find this. Hold on, let me see if there was something I forgot to pull this up. Hold on, guys. Bear with me. I want to pull something up here, if I can find it, and then we'll talk about it. Let me see here. I'm looking something up. I don't want to tell you what it is yet until I find it. Hold on. Let's see here. I can't find it now. Okay. Well, I will find it, what I'm looking for. I don't want to tell you what it is yet, but I will. When I find it, I'll tell you about it. I might not be able to find it until tomorrow. I'll look for it. Well, anyway, let me get back to this. The reason I talk about this a lot because I think it is a very important point about the propaganda of this Zelensky. I feel he dresses inappropriately. I think he should be wearing a suit and tie and dress like a president and show respect when he goes to the White House, when he goes to the United States Congress, okay? You know, and he wants people to think that he's in a constant war zone, so he dresses like Fidel Castro. He's got a Fidel Castro beard, and, you know, it's all propaganda that he's on the front lines of the war fighting Russia. And it's really just disgusting. Let's see if anything's said here. No, Biden didn't sniff her hair. Shocking. Well, the day's young.
President Zelensky, how critical is more aid?
Oh, yeah.
Mr. President, how important is this visit? Mr. President, how important is this visit?
Very important. Very important. We need more money. We need more money. The one thing I'm looking for, if I can find, I may have to find it tomorrow. Okay, then we have him inside the White House with the sniffer-in-chief.
And earlier this week at the UN General Assembly, I made it clear that no nation can be truly secure in the world if, in fact, we don't stand up and defend the freedom of Ukraine.
The freedom of Ukraine, where he has outlawed, you know, it's free in Ukraine, right? We're defending the freedom in Ukraine. Zelensky has outlawed oppositional political parties. He has outlawed press that report things that he doesn't like. There's an American journalist in jail right now facing 8 years in Ukraine. Okay? He has ended freedom of religion in Ukraine. He shut down the Russian Orthodox Church. And Zelensky announced that there'll be no elections in Ukraine and as long as the war's going on. Now, keep in mind, every war we've had in this country, even the Civil War, we had elections. All right? No elections, no freedom of religion, no freedom of the press, all this. So how can that be freedom? What are we fighting for? It sounds like we're fighting for tyranny over there. And, you know, you don't hear any one point out all these restrictions that he has brought upon us. Now, this video here is circulated. It's from TikTok. It's circulating all over Twitter today. I mean, this is the border of the United States. Look at this. Now, I mean, it goes on forever. Look, come on. Now, one thing, you look at this crowd, do they look impoverished? They don't even look dirty. I mean, my goodness. how is this being allowed? You know, I thought when the internet was new, and I wasn't alone in this, a lot of people thought this, that when the internet was new, there'd be so much information and everything would be seen that the public officials, they wouldn't be able to get away with all the crap they get away with because the truth will be reported. The information superhighway is what Bill Clinton used to call the internet when he was president, when it was new. We see everything. In high definition video, we see this. And the government, they just don't care. They don't care what we think. They don't care that we know. Now, I feel bad for these kids. They look like cute kids and all, and everything else. This woman here, though, doesn't look like she's fleeing much. She's all smiles, holding hands with her boyfriend. It's date night. I feel bad for these people. I don't blame them for wanting to come to America, but how can this be allowed? I mean, how many people are just in the shot that I'm showing you right here now? How many people do you think are in this all the way back to the end, just in this shot? And this is a nonstop, continuous line into the United States. And it's never ending, and it's been going on now for over 2.5 years. And it's going to be going on until a year from January when Trump is back in office for his second term. And it's going to get worse because they're afraid that it's going to be stopped by President Trump, so they're going to have to amp it up. This is scary stuff. Somebody said 10,000? You think there's 10,000 that we're seeing right here? I don't know. But I do know this. We're going to lose our country if we don't get Trump back in office in 2024, okay? We're going to lose our country. You know, Michael Savage has, borders, language, culture, he says all the time. President Trump says that if you don't have borders, you don't have a country. And we have no border, at least not the southern border. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, it's Steve from Chicago.
Hey, Steve, what's up?
And as far as the border situation, it's the same thing that happened to the Roman Empire. It's happening to the American Empire.
The barbarians at the gate?
Yeah, it's like instead of coming from the north, like Germany area, they're coming from the south, and this government is letting it happen. Plus, I wanted to let you know that I kind of agree with the caller from, I guess, Louisiana, that Fetterman is in worse shape than they're letting out. I agree he's not such a great guy, but in my situation, I'm a little disabled in my old folks' home. And I don't want to dress up and, people always say, why don't you clean yourself up more? You know? Well, just my situation of being, I'm physically in worse shape than Fetterman. But Fetterman, maybe he's just too lazy because he is a kind of not so great guy. But I think it's also like, why bother dressing him? Because that's the way I feel about dressing him.
Well, you're in a different situation. You're in a retirement home. He's in the United States Senate. See, I think Fetterman dresses that way for attention. Is a lot of it. Look at me, look at me, look at me, and I can do whatever I want. The rules don't apply. He's a narcissist.
Yeah, he's got that too. Yes, I agree. But maybe he just doesn't want to bother with this dress-up stuff so much. Like he has to do it.
Yeah.
I think it's that too. I'm just agreeing a little bit with that.
It's a lot of different things. It's a lot of different things.
Yeah. And your show is awesome all the time. All your shows are great.
Well, thank you.
And I'm a big fan. And, I just want to tell you, I think your wife is the most wonderful person in the world.
Well, I agree with you on that.
Well, I'm sure you do. That's why you got lucky enough to marry her.
That's right.
So I just want to tell you goodbye, okay?
Well, thank you. Well, it's good to hear from you. From Chicago, Illinois. So let's go back to Jean-Pierre, and this one, the eye thing is even worse than this one. Now that I pointed it out to you, that's all you'll see.
This is a president that has taken historic action on an issue, on a system that has been broken for some time.
Okay. This thing about Jean-Pierre is an immigrant to the United States, a legal immigrant, right? And she talks about, anytime she's talking about the border, she's talking about the broken system. If the system's broken, how did she do it legally? I'd love to hear a reporter say that. Jean-Pierre, Steve Doocy, Fox News, Brian Craig, YouTube. You and the president have said that the American immigration system is broken. If it's so broken, how did you and your family legally immigrate to it? Could you explain that to me, Jean-Pierre, with your very distracting and annoying eyeshadow? Oh, my goodness. Now, this story here, someone called me this morning about this, and I looked into it. There's a whole bunch of articles on this. I just pulled up one. I'm going to do some more research into this. Illegal alien housing project near Houston funded by a major political donor. And there is an entire community, and this article is back in July, so the numbers I'm sure are higher now. Look at this. There's the community in Liberty County, Texas, is now home to the largest settlement of illegal immigrants in the entire country. Now, this is as of the beginning of July. Over 75,000 illegals now call the area home. Isn't that something? They're getting new houses. It's like that show that used to be on ABC where they would, with Ty Pennington. Remember that show? What was that show called? That home improvement show where they would give people houses? I know. They're giving them houses. I wouldn't be surprised if they're like tunnels to towers. You know what they're giving them? It's like tunnels to towers. They're getting mortgage-free homes, these illegals. And we're paying for them. Yeah, exactly. As we come to the end of the month and you got to pay your mortgage or you got to pay your rent, right? They're getting mortgage-free homes, all these tens of thousands that are walking across the border. Again, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. And everyone who's already subbed, thanks so much. If you could like the video, that helps. When you like the video, it tells that YouTube algorithm that every YouTuber is always obsessing over, that you like the video, and it recommends this video and other videos of mine to people that have not yet found my channel. And that's how we grow our great community, okay? So make sure you do that, guys. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Berta from Texas.
Hey, Berta.
How do you like that number of illegals coming in? I told you.
Was that you that called me about that this morning? Somebody called me about that this morning. No, I didn't call you this morning. Somebody called me about that this morning.
And not only, I told you about the crime. It's getting worse, and it's getting worse. They're breaking into people's property, and they're going into their sheds, staying in their sheds. And it's really bad. And what gets me, Brian, is, you always talk about this. I mean, your wife even talks about it on the show that, price for groceries is so high. I mean, I have 3 bags of groceries and I spent $110. And I'm like, what the heck did I get that? And
sorry, guys.
So
I've been up since 2. I'm sorry to yawn during the stream, but I've been up since 2 o'clock in the morning for the morning show.
Yeah.
So, and it's coming up on 20 minutes after 6 p.m., so I've been up for over 16 hours, so I apologize for the yawn. You don't see me yawn too much while I'm broadcasting, but I couldn't hold that one back.
No, it just gets, as an American, and this is a Latin American, okay? I was born here. My parents came here, and they went through the whole works, and they paid a lot of money, and my father was only a student then, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just not fair. And then after we get the heat of it,
That's right.
In Texas, and not only that, a lot of other, they say, oh, Abbott needs to keep those, the illegal immigrants there. No, it's not fair. It's not fair,
lots of things are not fair, but what's going on is criminal. This is the thing. The number of people that are coming across the border, and you look at these videos, they're all clean, well-fed, and they've bathed. They don't look like they've been out in the sun, or anything. There's a major organization bringing them here in comfort, and the United States government, led by Joe Biden, are assisting those people south of the border.
That's called your new Democratic Party.
Well, it's called human smuggling. It's called treason. And a whole bunch of other things. And while Kevin McCarthy is running around bitching, let me finish. But Kevin McCarthy is running around bitching about keeping the government open. He should shut down the damn. He should shut down the damn government until the charges are dropped against Trump and the wall's finished, and they shut down the border and stop this.
Well, he's a rat too. He acts like it. That he loves Trump and everything, but he's always been.
He's a liar.
He's always been deep. Yeah, he is a liar, Brian. He's always been a liar. And when they send the money to Ukraine, they get a little fix something in their pocket, and so does McCarthy, which is embarrassing for the Republicans.
That's right.
So I mean, the only solution is one: Donald Trump.
That's it.
Across the world, they are speaking that if Donald Trump does not come back to be president of the United States, that this country would be unrecognizable.
Let me tell you. I'll tell you this: if Donald Trump is not back in the White House in 2024, we are the last generation of Americans.
Exactly. Exactly. And I was just talking about that to my husband. That's it. It'll be a complete different America, not the one that we used to know. That's why it's so hard for us, Brian, because we come from a different era.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so acceptable to this new era. I mean, the boys now are soy boys with skinny jeans,
I mean, the
I
girls.
know, but maybe I'm too old school,
Mm-hmm.
We were just listening. He was listening, my husband, to Instagram, and he was saying, like, I can't believe the mentality of these kids these days. Well, they were trained up. This happened under our noses. We should have been more into
They're
things
not men.
before,
They're not men. They're girls.
They're soy boys.
Yeah, Andrew Tate's right about that. Well, hey, look, it's good to talk to you. I'll talk to you again.
Okay.
All right, take care. Thanks for the call. Phones are busy. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Renee from Harlem.
Oh, hey, Renee.
Hey. So I'm surprised you're up this time. You're usually up earlier in the morning.
I was up early in the morning, too.
Wow. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So I just figured I'd drop you a line, How is the treason coming? Are you going to have a coup this time when he loses, or what's going to be the agenda?
Well, I don't think that's going to happen.
No? Well, when he loses, you're not going to...
Let me ask you a serious question. Renee, let me ask a serious question. All these problems that are going on in this country, the southern border and all this stuff, why would you want the Democrats to continue to run this country when you see what they're doing to it?
Well, it's funny you say that, because when you say the southern border like it's a problem...
It is a problem.
I look at it in a different way, you see, because the people that are necessarily invading, they're Latin, they're Mexican, they're the people that are originally from that territory.
Oh my gosh!
Arizona,
no, they're not.
Mexico.
No, they're not. No. These are not Incas. These are they're descendants of the Spanish. Some of them of the Portuguese. Spain colonized Latin America. That's why it's called Latin America. Because the Spaniards and the Portuguese,
because they colonized it.
So they
but those people are still
they're oh my goodness! Did you go to school? Did you ever go? Do you have an education at all? No, they're European. They're European descendants, like I am. They may not be white. No, they're of European descent. These are not Incas and Mayans.
European name.
They are not.
In fact, I still have a European name.
These are not Incas, Mayans, or Aztecs. You think these are Aztecs?
Well, where did they go? Where'd they go?
Most of them are extinct.
They're extinct.
Well, I'll tell you. I'll give you an example. You know.
Europeans
no, you're in New York.
I'll
tell you. You're in New York. You're in New York, right? You know AOC, AOC.
Yeah, I know who she is.
Okay. Her family are responsible. Her family, AOC's family, are in part responsible for the extinction of the native South American people. She is a descendant of Cortez. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is a descendant of the conquistador Cortez, who killed I don't know how many native Indians of South America.
She has
but no.
the name. That doesn't mean she's of that lineage. Come on,
Oh,
man.
well,
You
she's
gotta
got the
know
same
better than
name.
that.
She's got the same name, Cortez. So
You could have
these,
married into that
do
name.
you really?
have no
let me,
idea.
Renee.
You have
She's
no
she's
way of
not
knowing.
married. She's not married
Look,
into that.
I
That's
am not-
that's
I
her
am not
maiden
going
name.
To be saluting Spain because Spain has as much retribution
but
as
these pe-
England and France and all the rest of you
But
European
Renee,
cave
these people coming across the border are of European descent too. You think they're Mayans?
They're of
No,
Native
they're
American
not.
descent.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
No, did
they're
you go to
Latin.
school?
Just
Do you have a
because
high
they
school
speak
diploma?
Spanish don't mean they're from Spain.
Look at them. They're Spanish.
Oh my God. You have no knowledge at all, man.
I do.
You have no knowledge. You don't.
You think these
I bet
people
you
right
think
here?
The ancient
hold on a
Egyptians
second.
were white.
You
Don't you
think
the
this
ancient Egyptians were white?
No.
Oh, you don't? You don't think so?
No.
The ancient Egyptians were black then.
I don't know. I wasn't there. There are no photographs. I look at the images on the wall and stuff. But look, you think that this guy right here, you think this guy is an Aztec? You don't think these people are of Spanish descent? Are you out of your mind?
The Spanish, really, first of all, they can't even reproduce themselves. You think they're going to reproduce a whole continent of people?
Yes.
That is ridiculous.
Yes. They
if
did.
you look at the Bolivians, if you look at the Peruvians, if you look at those people are still of Inca, Mayan.
There are like in this like in the
Even
United
if you look at the Puerto Ricans, you can see the Boricua. You can see
in
it.
the United States, we have some Native American Indians here in Florida, Seminoles, Miccosukee.
You didn't kill
Indians.
them all.
And
You
there
didn't
are
get 'em
some, but they're a small
Just a few.
minority. But a lot of people claim to be
Very
Indians that are
small.
not. No, these are not Incas. These are not Aztecs. Hey, Renee, take care. What? Oh boy. He's really uninformed. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling? He thinks they're natives. They're not native. Hey, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? That was crazy.
Hey, Brian,
with Renee.
Corey from Bedminster.
Hey, Corey. He thinks.
How are you?
Renee from Harlem thinks these people at the border are Aztecs. Did you missed the call? You haven't heard the call? You got to go back and watch it. He said,
I probably missed that. I was working like crazy all day today, as MAGA does. And
exactly. Hey, listen. Here I am doing my second show today, plus everything I did in the middle of the day. You know, we gotta feed these illegals that are coming here, so we gotta work hard to pay our taxes. But you know, Renee does not understand that these illegals are of Spanish and Portuguese descent, which makes them European descendants like we are. He thinks that they're.
Okay, I missed that. Yeah.
He thinks they're
Okay,
Aztecs and Mayans and Inca.
Right.
Well, even if they are, they're South American, not North American. So they're
exactly. And you know what? What happened to history class? Nobody knows anything about history anymore. It stopped somewhere. I'm 64.
Yeah.
I think it stopped somewhere in the 80s, right after you. I mean, you know a lot about history.
Yeah.
You really do follow history well.
I do. I love history.
And, yeah. Did I hear, I'm sorry, the reason why I called, did I hear you say Kevin McCarthy sent people home?
No.
Like we're not going to vote, go away today?
No.
Because if he did.
I'll go away for today. Well, yeah.
Them?
The MAGA caucus stood up to Kevin McCarthy. They don't want to fund the Pentagon. They don't want to, and want to shut Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, and the crew. They thought they just had this automatic funding that was going to go to the Pentagon. Zelensky came to the Pentagon. I guess they were embarrassed that we're cutting off funding to the Pentagon when Zelensky came here demanding money.
Right. Yeah. Well, there's a lot I want to say about that, but Probably not right now. Not
you
right
know,
now.
in the second, and let me tell you, in the Second World War, we helped before we were in the war physically. We helped England and Churchill. And you know, Churchill. First of all, that was a real war, unlike this. But Churchill, I never. Obviously, it was a different time, and we have different media now than then. But he never seemed to feel entitled. He never seemed to think that America owed him ships and weapons and planes and money. This guy Zelensky is. I just get this sense of entitlement from him.
Yeah,
like he's
and I have a feeling with all the stuff that we have to owe him and do that our Mitch and all those boys know about. I think we're fighting this war ourselves. Is what I think.
Yeah,
and I think it's time to shut it down, pull it out. There's no reason for this whatsoever.
Well, I'm really curious.
Operation.
It sure is. Listen, there's no doubt it's U.S. personnel. The modern military equipment is high tech and computerized. It is all in English.
Right.
And Zelensky barely speaks English, you know. So these young Ukrainian soldiers, they speak and read Ukrainian. They don't have enough Ukrainians that have a strong enough grasp of English to operate a U.S. tank or anti-aircraft missile and things like this. So through this whole war, we have U.S. personnel on the ground. I wonder if we've lost any, and they've covered it up. American service personnel.
I'm sure. Yeah, I just, you know, who trusts this government anymore anyway? But no, I heard that and I was like, I want to ask Brian real quick because I usually don't call except for weekends because I like to listen to you guys every day. The gang in the morning, and I love them all.
Well, I appreciate that. Well, thanks so much. From Bedminster, it won't be long, and the president will be leaving Bedminster and coming back home to Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty soon too. I could tell because some of the cars are starting to leave and.
You'll see me at Mar-a-Lago a lot more, live streaming and stuff from Mar-a-Lago when the president's home. All right. Well, listen, it's good to talk to you. Thanks for calling.
Hey, have a great night, and everybody
You
else
too.
behind you there.
All right. Great calls. Great calls on the stream tonight. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello? Once, twice. Well, I guess they thought better, which I understand. Again, if you're new to my channel, I'm the most pro-Donald Trump guy you're going to find, not just on YouTube, but anywhere, unless their name's Trump, okay? So if you're new to my channel, subscribe, okay? I live stream every day, usually in the mornings, but I stream 7 days a week, and when I'm live streaming, I'm always taking live calls on the stream like I've been doing on this stream, and the number's always toll-free, and the calls are all screenless. I don't know what's coming at me until I take the call live on the air, and you'll love this channel and my program, I promise you. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks, everyone, so much for watching.